Hello, everybody. Hopefully you're having a fantastic weekend. Thank you for spending some time with me today to take a look at the energy for the next 7 days. Little Apollo and I are wishing you all of the best. Thank you so much again for being here. Yeah, he's freshly groomed and ready for this retrograde and full moon energy that we're all going through. This morning, actually, because I was just resetting up all the equipment in here, I was having a heck of a time with the internet. I'm like, yep, retrograde is happening. So today, as we look at manifesting, we're going to kind of focus on how to work with any existing challenges as well. We'll definitely take a little look at the retrograde energy too. All right, I'm going to put Apollo down so we can chat, and then we'll get started. All right, so as I said, this is your weekly collective reading where we're going to take a look at the next 7 days, spanning all the way from Sunday to Sunday. And there's a lot of interactive elements in between here. We'll also be looking at the 7-day forecast, like I said, then blessings and blocks. And then we'll be looking at fire, earth, air, and water. There's also some other interactive elements below, so we'll get into those in just a second. I'm going to give Apollo one more pet, and then we'll get started. Hey, buddy. What's going on there, huh? Need some toys? There you go. All right, so let's begin. Before we get started, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because I am doing some shorter form videos that are coming out from time to time, and I don't want you to miss out on those. Not just the daily videos, but also, as you might have noticed this time, we had a retrograde and full moon forecast as well. So I'd love for you to be in the loop when all of that is happening. Follow me on social media as well. I put reminders of the upcoming readings when they happen, so it's a great way to make sure that you don't miss out. But if you do that, be mindful that there are some folks out there that try to pretend that they're me. A good way to remember who's who is that I don't ever use direct messages on social media unless we are friends in real life and we hang out all the time. For anybody that's just a follower, I don't do that because that's actually what a lot of the imposters do. So if someone's direct messaging you and offering you services or products, it's not me, okay? If you want to show love and support, come to one of these live readings or watch one of my regular videos. You can use this button here or the little heart if it's on replay. And that's the only way to kind of connect and give back or to become a member. All right, with all of that being said, I'm gonna go first into your channel messages for today. Let me pull up the presentation and we'll get started. As I'm getting the presentation ready, let me talk a little bit about what I was tuning into in my dreams tonight. Last night rather. What I was starting to see was sort of like this cosmic dance. And for any of you that are just amazing dancers without having to try, good for you. But most of us, it takes coordination. And I think that really what was coming through was a little bit of the Two of Pentacles, making a choice and then finding your balance and finding your footing. So I've got my presentation ready. Let's take a look at it. We'll get into the messages here. All right. So a dance, an actual activity, not just an object. That's what I was shown. And then this is really helping you facilitate internal healing as well. And we'll talk about that. And throughout this entire journey, I would say the next week, or maybe just the next retrograde period here for the next 2 to 3 weeks, there's going to be increased sensitivity for many of you. And we'll try to work our way through how to navigate that. All right. All that being said, let's get to the first message. So I just saw this beautiful dance room. I couldn't tell what time of year, what time of season it was. I just saw you with some friends and they were trying to get you to dance. And there was a reluctant energy as you were trying to get out there. And then I saw that you were dancing with either your higher self or someone in spirit. Maybe it was a loved one that had passed. And there was this combination of like joy and reunion. Then there was sadness because you realized if you stepped back and looked at yourself, it was you. It was you and the person. The thing is, they are always there, or that energy, that higher self of you, it's always there. So there's this illusion sometimes that we are alone, but we are not alone. And that's basically the beauty of this dance that I was shown, is that someone is dancing and walking this walk with you throughout this sort of all the good, the bad, and the in-between. And so if you can embrace that, some great stuff starts to happen. Just as you were ready to walk out, because again, I feel like you were looking for someone in flesh and bone, not spirit, to sort of be there with you. That's when I saw an opportunity arise. Like it was a person coming in, or that could represent some sort of a new job, or a door was opening, let's say it that way. But it was there when you were just about done with all of this. You were like, I don't need someone. I'm okay. It's that sense of understanding that you're full, your cup is full. And we're going to talk about this in the next one. So with this, the reason I chose the Two of Pentacles, there is a choice to continue to focus on what isn't, or to open your mind up to what could be and what is. And when you choose that sort of higher option, everything starts to blossom. You have an ace, you can start going up and getting even more. So that's what I got with this. And the next one was a modern interpretation or different interpretation of the Two of Cups. Someone else is ready to call you into their life. Again, this can be a work or friendship, work partnership or friendship. Could be love for some of you looking for love. When it happens, they're going to come unexpectedly and possibly inconveniently. But the reason that they come is because you've done the healing. That dance, part of the reason the partner wasn't there yet is because you have to fully heal yourself. The Two of Cups does not represent someone to come in and fill up your cup. Both cups are full. Both are aces. To be an ace, you have to work on yourself. And so this isn't your missing piece. It is not your better half. It is not the, whatever you want to call it. All those old-fashioned things, they're a mess. Those sort of ways that we used to look at it. So instead, what you're looking at is a cosmic mirror to the work you've done. The more work you do, the better the partner, right? Because they're also getting the same energy. If they've worked on themselves, they're looking for someone else who's worked on themselves. And so the minute you see yourself as more than enough for yourself and others, the minute you start to prioritize your heart health, your mental health, your physical health, and the minute that you start to dance and create, because that's really what it is, the cosmic dance of creation, then this opportunity comes, this person comes, the door opens, and then things start to get exciting. So I see something or someone waiting on the sidelines, waiting for you to be ready, waiting for you to see what they see. Because they were unbothered, even though you seemed like you might have been stressed or sad or whatever, they were just happy to see you. So they're already there, they're just waiting for you to get there. Not to find them, but to get there energetically, and then they'll find you, or the two of you will find each other. So there's a mirror that's waiting to kind of come through, but it's already a little bit higher frequency, and that's the delay. So you're going to work on increasing your frequency, and you can get there as soon as you want to get there. Okay, that was the message that I got with that. Then I was also shown a metaphor of either like thin skin or thin walls. So what this can mean is that people may be listening or hearing or picking up on things, but if they only hear a little bit and it's out of context, then there could be an overreaction. You could also be feeling things intensely, and I'm going to talk about it in the next slide, but if that's happening, you also want to take a deep breath, get some insight into why someone is saying or doing something, and then decide. So temperance was the obvious choice for this because we don't want to go to extremes. One step at a time, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, trying to get again, it's a little bit of a balancing act. Are you noticing it? We've got the two pentacles here, the 2 cups here, and the 2 cups here also in temperance. Because now if you brought someone into your life too, this is where you could also feel like you have to do a little bit of recalibration, all right? Progress doesn't happen overnight. That's another thing here. So it takes time to make something happen. It takes time to get where you need to be. So 1 step at a time. Increased sensitivity. I actually pulled this card yesterday for all of us on the 1 card readings that I do. And so this retrograde is calling in High Priestess energy since it came on the beginning of it. Shield yourself, ground yourself. It's good to be open, but it's also good to be discerning about how much, how frequently you kind of tune into everything, and then also how much you let it affect you. So you may be frustrated over the course of this next week, if not this whole retrograde, because we're kicking off the reading during a retrograde and a full moon energy. So this is going to go through the full moon and through the retrograde, even past the 7 days. During this period of time, you're probably going to see and feel things more intensely and possibly in advance of others. You're like the canary, right? In the coal mine. You're picking up on things long before anyone else. And so it may take them a half step longer to figure things out. You might have to do some explaining. It's not that they don't care. It's not that you're not doing something right. It's that you're just more tuned in. And some people need physical, tangible, black and white truth in front of them. And it's hard when you are kind of trying to talk energy with people that aren't there. So you'll have to find a way to navigate that, because not everyone is in that same energetic vibe, and you don't want to condescend because that's not right either. It's basically about continuing to be patient, continuing to repeat what it is and try it from their perspective, see it from a different point of view. And because the High Priestess, she can see a better way. And so find that better way. That's the main message here. Give others time to awaken. These are the main messages for today. They're big ones, and they're all very nicely connected, I thought. I especially liked the Two of Cups. We always are waiting for someone. Someone's waiting for you. Someone's waiting for you to sort it out, get it together, and then some good stuff is going to come through. So today, I'm going to help you do the work. And that's what we do every single Sunday. So today's work is about getting rid of those blocks, opening up those doors, and welcoming whoever comes through them, right? All right, we're going to go into the 7-day forecast. I think for this, I might use the Field Tarot, just because it was right here and it's beautiful. So let's get the camera set up and get going. Okay, so we're going to look at the next 7 days, Sunday to Sunday, looking at all the opportunities, potential blocks, and we'll navigate them together. How interesting that we got the moon for Monday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday and Sunday. All right, let's get the cards all in plain view. Take a look at what's coming through. All right, we're going to start with today, and it's an awakening card here. So we have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords came through in the reverse state, which is basically saying, I am aware of things that I didn't see before. Sometimes, I said this with the High Priestess, it's true if the Seven of Swords comes through reverse too. It's saying, maybe someone's motives for the first time are coming through and you can see them. You can see that there was possibly something that they needed or wanted from you, and it wasn't just sort of like unconditional love and acceptance and presence. So the caption on this says deception. With the reversal of this is basically transparency and revelation. It's the opposite. You can't be deceived. The wool has been pulled from over your eyes, and you can see clearly now. The blinders are off. So the question now is not if something's happening, it's what to do about it. So for many of you, this is just basically you see something differently. Someone left something out conveniently. Maybe you learned something that was, kind of put under the paperwork. This can also be about getting real with yourself. So if everything's good around you, there's no sort of revelation. The other piece here is that you may be finally ready to start something new, because the Seven of Swords in reverse is saying, I'm taking accountability. I said I was going to do this. I didn't do this. This is why I'm going to change my ways. I'm going to turn a new leaf. I'm going to turn a new corner. So that's what I'm picking up on here, is this newfound understanding that you are the one to make this happen. You're the one that's going to make, the change in your life, but you have to be ready. You have to accept it, and you have to follow through on all of that. So if you're doing all of this, hold others accountable as well. Somewhere in this big picture, there's either revelation or accountability. And once those two things happen, you realize something is, and then you decide to do something about whatever it is. And then you basically start to create this new trajectory, this new action in your life. Okay. With the fox, I love that this is on a lot of Seven of Swords cards because it's sly, right? You can't outfox the fox. So if somebody tries to get away with something with you, it's going to come out. You're going to see it. So call it out sooner than later. Make sure that they know that you know, and then do something about that. Ultimately, this is a good card for I would say today, the best thing that you can do is to decide what changes you want to make in your life. And what a nice energy to kind of bring us into retrograde. It's saying, I could do better here and here. This is what I choose to improve upon. That's how you can take and elevate the Seven of Swords. My areas of opportunity include, and just list a couple of bullets and then work on it for the next week or two and start to see progress on it. The single card pull that I did right before this reading actually was a Nine of Wands. So not only do you we're looking collectively at a weekly forecast, but then each day I pull some additional energies. So you have a combination of two today. And these two can work together. You can see my daily card pulls as an amplification. how to make it, it's kind of like a catalyst, how to change things up. So the Seven of Swords today is where the opportunity is. The Nine of Wands is how to deal with it. And that's how you can view it. Some of you have asked. So I give you the sort of incident that you're dealing with this forecast. I do my best to guess what will happen that day. On that day, we will then pull another card and then we can fine tune it a bit, okay? And that's sort of, you can get more granular with the daily pulls in case you were wondering. All right, let's focus now on the week ahead. And starting off with the beginning of the week, I like that on Monday we got the moon because it's named after the moon. So we have the moon in reverse. And it's interesting because the word that I got was like, for some of you, if what someone's offering you, the word that was put in my head was offering. So the universe may be asking you, what are you willing to offer or put in to get something to happen? Are you offering gratitude and praise and thanks for the positivity in your life? And is someone else's offer to you acceptable? That is all I got when I looked at this. It was the offering is what they told me. So that's how I broke it down for you. What are you offering to create things to happen in your life? Because energy responds to your sort of input. And then also, are you accepting to the offer that comes to you, or is there an area of opportunity? The moon itself is saying, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to dig deeper. If there's something that needs to be dealt with, this is a good time to start figuring out how and when and why you want to fix this. It's a very sort of introspective day. It may not be the best day for a conflict or conversation of great magnitude. I think it would be a good day to get information, to listen. If there's something important though that can't wait, yeah, you can deal with it Monday because that's the whole energy of the moon. Be careful of emotions, that's all. I think it's good that you're dealing with it. The emotional energy could make it a little challenging. We start to see like better days. You could create an appointment or schedule, say, let's meet on Tuesday or let's meet on Wednesday, so that you're starting to deal with it, but you're not actually having the conversation. Wednesday's a sweet spot. Thursday's pretty good too. Tuesday's better for getting work done or documenting things. We have the Nine of Pentacles here, Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And the Nine of Pentacles is such a great card for being able to finish what you started, and that's the whole goal of retrograde, right? And even today's Nine of Wands, very close to this. You can do this on your own if you want to. This is a very independent energy. It doesn't matter in this deck if it's upright or reversed, it's the same image. But with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, there are two things you want to be aware of. Things are happening in the speed that they need to be happening. If you try to rush them and you're not ready or the other party's not ready, it will lead to more delays. So be at peace with some of the predetermined or prescribed deadlines, because there are things we can affect and there are some things that require a lot of moving pieces outside of our own control. And that's what I'm picking up on here, is that there's some moving pieces that you'll have to just sort of be patient with, okay? But by and large, Nine of Pentacles, we like that because it says you can work on your own, you can get a lot done. Make sure to check in with someone else because it's fiercely independent. And when the card is reversed, it's saying that you might want to collaborate. The word on this one that they chose was culmination. So all the things that you've been working on are starting to build up, and you're starting to see that I put this for today's title for the one card pull, but the light's at the end of the tunnel. You're the one that's also like getting yourself closer there and speeding up this just by working on being very methodical, very detail-oriented, and by putting passion in the work. That's what will speed things up ultimately. The other timelines you can't control as much. So just focus on what you can do and how you feel about it, and then occasionally check in with others to make sure that they're on the same page, and I think you're going to make a lot of progress on Tuesday. Wednesday's when everything comes together. The Three of Wands, what I like here is it's saying focus. Also, if you look really closely, we have six-pointed star, as above, so below. We have Earth and basically all the different elements represented with this one. It's great, but let's pull it up closer here. So with the Three of Wands, if I pull it back, you can sort of see there's another arrow there. See it? So there's a hidden star in this. But if we look at the Three of Wands here, what I would say on Wednesday is things will happen now faster than you thought. So the impatience that you had on Tuesday, it ends up not being an important thing on Wednesday. there may actually be some things that you're not paying attention to that are already available to you. Low-hanging fruit that's ready to sort of be harvested. This could mean a job opportunity, a friendship, a love interest, that something is opening up and it's saying, hey, spend some time in this area. Stop focusing on this because you're missing that. And that's why we see the center sort of, it's almost like a camera focusing. So if you can focus your energy and focus on where it's being received, then you're going to see a lot of progress. Good day to get work done, better day for collaboration than Tuesday was. And envisioning things is also good. So planning, getting people to buy into what you want them to sort of see is also good. So persuasive conversations, difficult conversations, or anything where you just need to see the two sides coming together because the ships are coming in. You're meeting them halfway, they're meeting you halfway, things get done, there's an exchange. It's a great day. Highlight of the week so far. Now we see the mirror that I was talking about. Now we only see the ace here, and the ace is reversed. So this is the first day that I'm seeing that door start to gently open for love, for a job, for something. But it is brought to you by someone, not surprisingly, since we're all about connecting on this planet. And it's sometimes stronger when you're working in a couple to get that done. So I see someone coming into your life. They're beginning to be interested or they're beginning to be available starting on Thursday, but you're not ready 100%. Your cup is reversed. They're already there. Again, we can see the shadow of them waiting, but you have to sort of turn your energy in that same direction. What should you do on Thursday? Practice good self-care. So this is a good day to make sure that you're eating well, drinking well, exercising well. This is also a great time to take a day off or have a long weekend if you can. It's a great time to talk to someone that you care about, talk to a therapist if you need to. Basically, do everything that you can to heal your heart, heal your body, take care of you. And the more you work on yourself, the more other people are going to be receptive to everything that you have to offer. And so far, by the way, it's creativity, productivity, vision, being able to see things. So you've got a lot of great energy and even accountability, because that's what this is. So all of this is good stuff that you've been working on, starting to pay off here, but you have to feel it and you have to feel good. And maybe many of you have been in a sort of service-related industry or phase of your life where you've decided to prioritize the health and well-being of everyone else. So Thursday is the you day. Take care of everything for yourself. Go to the grocery store, go to the doctor, go home an hour early. I don't care what it is. Whatever's going to make you happy on Thursday, prioritize it. It's going to help make Friday magical, and it's going to help make the rest of the following days and weeks magical as well. Now, these cards are both fantastic. So things start to happen Wednesday, but then you start to manifest new things starting on Friday, because this is the card of, you can see it here, planning. I would also add to this planning, dreaming, envisioning, and then also connecting to manifestation. So our topic today, manifesting all this and greater, this is when all this or greater starts to come through. We're setting you up for some sort of a synchronicity on Friday. And so I'm so happy that this came through. I would hope or expect to see either High Priestess or Two of Wands energy since you picked that topic for today. And we absolutely got it here. It's better for planning, I will say that, but that doesn't mean you can't work in groups. And that doesn't mean that you can't give people things to think about. You may not get a signature. This is more of a, blueprinting, whiteboarding sort of day where you're sketching things out and talking about possibilities. If you're in a place, whether it's schoolwork or relationship, where the other party wants you to tangibly commit, you could just say, let's get it drafted out. We can commit to the draft, but let's wait a day or two to sign the final contract or to agree to everything. I think that even by Sunday it's better, and we'll talk about that here as we go into the weekend. So far, by the way, it's a very manageable week. Divine feminine energy here, productivity here, envisioning and manifestation happening sort of on both of these days, more so on Friday, and then a little bit of healing happening here. As we get to the weekend, more healing coming through. And this is why maybe I was picking up on some sadness or some regret, which is totally normal in a retrograde period. You should and will be seeing things from your past. So it could, and it's going to be more punctuated on Saturday of next week. So there could be it could be a casual thought. You're driving down the road, or you're, making breakfast or something, and all of a sudden your mind goes to the past and you think about, oh, I should have done that, or what happened here, or I wonder what happened with this. So it can be, for some of you, nostalgia, for some of you, regret, for some of you, a lingering question. So what you're going to do on Saturday is find a way to put this to rest, to acknowledge that it's there, and to sort of say, I did all that I could in that moment. Would I change things now? Probably. But what I'm going to focus on is making better choices moving forward. Everything is context. I believe I said that in today's single card pull. So, and I think it might have been last weekend when we had this discussion around failure, that there is no failure as long as you are learning and as long as you are really sitting in your truth. So whatever regret you have, take it and make it your goal. I've talked about this before. So if you regret not doing this, find a way to do this in the future. It may not be with that same person or at that same school or in that same opportunity, but you can bring something similar into your life and apply the knowledge. So see the lesson, cry the tears, and then apply the lesson to the future and say, I want to change. I want to do something different. Because just like the dream that I saw where you kind of got over that emotional moment and someone was looking at you the whole time and they weren't judging. They were just waiting for you because they wanted to hang out. It was really cool. So there was no sort of like, you're not allowed to be sensitive or to be in a difficult situation. They're just waiting for you to heal. And so I think the 2 days where the biggest amount of healing can happen is Thursday and Saturday. I don't know why those days are sensitive for many of you. Be kind to yourselves on those days. Thankfully, not everyone has to work on Saturday. Some people like me work on the weekends, but Saturdays for most are free. So if you can take some time off, then take some time off. And really, this is a day where I would say it's okay to hermit a little bit. With the Three of Swords, it is about learning, being introspective, figuring out what's going on. If you're not liking that sort of energy, then yeah, you can spend time with someone else. But to get that other cup in there, we have to work on learning how to cope and fix and deal with things. So that's the main focus. So whether it's on your own or with someone else, if you can find the coping mechanism, find the healing, the way to healing, and also to look towards the future, that's going to help you. Sunday looks a lot more productive here in a different way. We're looking more at resources. We have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is reversed, however. So she's saying, I'm glad we have a queen because the control and the sort of overall, I would say, ability to kind of take it next level, it's coming through. So the Three of Swords, I would definitely take Queen of Cups reversed over Three of Swords. What she's saying is, I want to do something now. That can actually be the energy moving from sadness to motivation. So, or from jealousy or fear to the sense of, well, let's figure this out. What have I got to lose? So you're starting to alchemically change things. That was one of the topics. So the alchemy sets in a week from today, and you decide to take an emotion and turn it inside out and make it positive. There's always positivity, but make it more productive. So I talked about that in one of my daily card pulls, that it's okay to feel a sort of an energetic rush inside that sometimes isn't always the highest energy. So if it's anger, frustration, or jealousy, then you're going to choose to change that around. Jealousy can become admiration, anger can become forgiveness, and then motivation to change. Frustration can go towards education so that you understand what you can do better, and then that gives you a sense of hope. You just have to bring a different energy in to neutralize it. It is chemistry, basically, chemistry of the sort of emotions of our body and our mind. So when you start to look at it from a different perspective, the magic happens. So any healing that you've been trying to do, it starts to really set in a week from today. Hopefully that helps. One more time, looking at the best days of the week, I actually think you can't go wrong on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Those are your highlights. The emotional work happens on Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And the getting real energy happens today, and that's what we're doing together, Revelation. And then you're back in your power zone. That's the first time we got a Queen card here. So you're back into your power, and you're just deciding now to channel things and do something productive with it. All right? So that's your 7-day forecast. Hopefully you enjoyed that. All right, so let's go ahead now and take a look at the next element here that we're going to focus on. We'll look at blessings and blocks next. Let me just get everything set up here. We'll switch to a different deck as I'm doing this. All right, so let's see what's calling to me. I had moved all of my decks into these waterproof containers. I'm probably going to keep them there because of this house, so I might have to go off camera occasionally to grab my decks, but there we go. All right, blessings and blocks. Let's see what the energy is. Blessing, block. Hello, wands again. We got a lot of those when I was doing single card pulls last week, so let's see what's going on here. All right, for your blessing, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse, and it's saying, I know my limits, and I'm not afraid to use them. I also am willing and ready to let my guard down when it makes sense. So the upright version of this is all about defending yourself, pushing things forward, standing up for yourself. When it's reversed, it's saying, but I can't do it all day, every day to every person that I meet, because if I'm constantly in that sort of like fight or flight mode, then it's exhausting. So choose the people whom you can truly be comfortable around. You can let your hair down. You can just be yourself. You don't have to edit. Spend some time with them over this next week. They're going to help you sort things out. They're going to help you see it from a different perspective, whatever your challenge is. And that's going to be really helpful. So the people that you let in, I think they're really great. And then for everyone else, continue to focus on holding that, the boundaries. So saying no frequently, and, not to everything, but it is something important. People aren't used to hearing it or saying it or using that word. So say no, or not yet, or how about this? Use your negotiation skills to get what you need, to get what you want. Ultimately, if given a task and the Seven of Wands will come up in a reading, the Seven of Wands indicates that you can do it. You will do it. It's just not a sustainable card for a long time. So that's why it's important to eventually take care of yourself, or say no, or pull back a little bit. The block for the week ahead could come from the feeling that I have to do everything, right? That you have to do it all. This already has some of that. This is completely owning that feeling that if it has to get done, I have to be the one. So this is saying let some stuff go. First of all, you're very close to completion, and it looks like you're actually making really good progress over the course of this week. But both of these cards are reversed. Both of them are saying lighten the load. Here's the interesting thing. If you were to delegate one thing from the Six of Wands or the Seven of Wands, it would bring you to the Six, which is success. And even if you were here, you're still tracking very well if you get rid of one thing. So feel free if you need to put something on the back burner this week, to ask for help, or to delegate. With the Suit of Wands, you can always do that with great success. Less is usually more. And you will benefit. There's really no negative cards within Wands. There are certain things to focus on. The Ten of Wands is saying the load is too heavy when it's reversed. And you may also be missing out on how close you are to completion. So with both 9 and 10, sometimes you're impatient. You just want to be done. This Ten of Wands is saying you're just like one step away. So don't give up. But if you need some help in this final leg of the journey, ask for help. Okay? So both of them closely tied with a very similar message. The good news is with both of them being positive, you're making great progress. You'll get what you need to get done. And it's just a matter of self-care, which is, again, a continuation of what I talked about in the daily card pull. All right, so those are the messages for the blessings and blocks. Let's ease into the next portion, which I think is going to be the elements, but let's just take a look here. So we've done channeled messages, 7-day forecasts. We just talked about blessings and blocks. So yeah, we're going to take a look at the elements. This is where I look at fire, earth, air, and water. I think today I'm going to use maybe the Druidcraft deck for the main spread. So let me see. I might choose the sun and the moon for this one, since we just went through the full moon. I may put this as an option for voting when we do the main reading too, just to make sure that you have that chance, because this is a great deck as well. All right, so let's see. We're going to look at 4 cards for fire, earth, air, and water. Let me pull the cards first, and then I'll bring them up to the camera. Fire, earth, air, water. Water's got some changes. Okay. We'll begin with my fire signs here. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. You have the King of Wands. Couldn't ask for a better card, actually. The card is reversed, which means that many of you may be focusing on redirection and leading people through change, actually, which, again, very closely and nicely ties into the retrograde energy. Leading people through change is always challenging, though, because fear oftentimes enters into the equation, and it's sort of like people want to hold on to what's predictable, to what they know, to what they understand. And when there is this element of changing or shifting, part of what you're going to have to do is to reassure them and not simply push through. So this card can sometimes overpower. And so rest assured, you have all the power you need to get things done, but you may need to, if there's someone that's in that sensitive energy of not understanding, not wanting to let go, find a way to sort of gently push them into the next space. So you can push this week, but I want you not to overdo it. If you're wondering, do I have the capacity? This is saying yes, and you might just have to sort of like fake it till you make it. But I like that we got fire for fire. It's always a good sign, and we got the ultimate card for you. But keep an open mind, ground yourself, and know exactly how much or how little to push when it comes to motivating people or making a demand on people, because that's going to be the difference between success and failure. Okay? Ultimately, the reason I love the King and the Queen of Wands is they are great thinkers. And so when all the other kings and queens might be trying to scratch their head and figure something out, you're going to come up with an idea that's way out of left field perhaps, but it's going to be perfect for this situation. So trust that, and you should have a great week. Okay, let's focus now. Oh, by the way, one last thing. When it comes to health, when that is reversed, there could just be some headaches, fatigue, mental fatigue. Focus on avoiding burnout this week. All right, let's go to our earth signs now. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. This is for you. You have the ace that I've been talking about that's been in all the spreads. And look at how all of my aces, well, at least not the Rider-Waite-Smith one, but all the other ones that I've chosen have had the reflection here. So again, we see one partner ready, one partner waiting. So just reiterating what I've already talked about, the sooner you get some work done internally, the sooner you're going to start to see things happening externally. So emotional growth, trusting in self-worth, healing wounds from the past will allow you to call in a better partnership. This is going to be a very good week for creativity. You may be able to read people when they come into the room just by looking at their body language. Your heart is open, your third eye is open, and you're very, very creative this week. And because you're Earth, you're going to have a way to channel this and ground this in a way that other signs may not be able to. So if you're in a very practical profession, or if you're just getting really cool ideas that can help someone, feel free to kind of like share this and explore these things, because you kind of have this magic touch. It's a very, I don't know how to this is like an advisory sort of energy that you have, or a mentor sort of energy. You can see how things fit together. So if your job allows for that skill to kind of be showcased, this is a time to really lean into it. But in your life in general, love, the heart, and creativity are taking center stage this week. Okay? Positive, it's upright. The only other thing that I see here is that any challenges that come into your path, they are reflections of inner work that you need to do. Because we're in a retrograde, when we see those shadows, we shine the light, we don't run. So you're going to shine the light on the shadow and help the person see where their potential for growth is. And help yourself see where your potential for growth is as well. All right, moving into our air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Pretty good week for you as well. This is a time to really dig into the details. So with the Eight of Pentacles, this is writing, this is recording, this is legal documents, this is getting into construction or revision of something, rolling up your sleeves. A very, very busy week, a very good week too, because so much can be accomplished. So of all the signs thus far, and actually just even as I look at the cards on the table, I think you're going to have the greatest success in accomplishing what you set out to do. When I was looking at the earth signs, they may have unexpected inspiration, but maybe they need to partner with you because you have good project management and good resource allocation skills. It's almost like you guys flipped the script this month, or this week rather, but either way, I like it. And you have an ability to really, like I said, chart it out and accomplish it. So please take advantage of that energy. Stay busy this week, stay motivated this week. You'll be pleased with the outcome. If you wanted to engage in any sort of higher learning, training, or mentorship opportunities, this card is like a blinking green light saying, go for it, okay? Energetic return on investment is what we see with this. If and when you don't see that energetic return, it's a big red flag to say this isn't what I should be focusing on this week, okay? Let's now go to water, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So you are riding that wave of change. We have the Tower and it's reversed. The Tower reverse says, I know what needs to be changed. I realize change is happening around me. I'm going to be an active participant in it. I'm not going to wait or be beholden to other people's decisions because that's not going to be an effective or a powerful way for me to move forward. So you are going to make some changes. You're going to step into things and you're going to embrace it because that's what a Tower reverse does. What's going to be difficult in a Tower reverse is sometimes things happen without warning, quicker than you expected. Inconveniently, by the way, the Tower can be love coming into your life. It doesn't have to be bad, folks. A Tower reversed isn't necessarily bad. It is a significant change that shakes the foundations of your life. It can be a positive change. It can be an amazing amount of money that comes into your life. It can be a great opportunity at a job. It can be you moving, and it can be love. But there's something about this that requires you to get your head on straight. So take some time this week to really slow down and evaluate. How do I feel about this? How does this connect with me? What do I want to do to empower myself through this situation? And by doing all of that, you can actually have a really, for you, the most transformative week of any of the other elements. So Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, I told all the air signs they can get a lot done, but you could see the most change. And I think that's amazing too. So as we look at all the cards together here, these four anyway, we see creativity in two here. So as I looked at fire and earth, it's very creative. There's a lot more leadership with fire. With earth, though, there's this great influx of creativity, which we love. Air, there's the ability to bring things together. And water, you're going to go into places that others are like, how did that happen so fast? How did you do this? So their heads will be spinning while you're actually already into the next big thing. All right, let's move on now to the viewers and the reader's choice, and we'll go from there into our special topic. All right, so for viewers and readers' choices, we'll take a look at the cards and see what kind of major questions we all have here. So give me a second here, and I'll let us see the whole desk here so you can look at all the cards. And let's see here. So obviously I want to help us through some of the changes here. So let's take a look at how to make peace with or ease in change. So how to ease into I'll just say into the Tower / change. Okay, so that's question number one. I think the other one is to know when and where to let your guard down. When to let your guard down, let others in, basically. And let's see here. I'm going to choose this one because it's come up many times. So let's focus on accountability. And I'm just going to leave it at that. It's like holding yourself accountable. Okay, I'll put it. Holding yourself and others accountable. Okay, so I'll place those out there for consideration. Feel free to vote on them. While you're voting on those, I'm going to take a look at the mirroring energy here since it came through. I'm going to say, what can you do to really focus on... We got a volunteer already, but I'm going to still pull a card here to see what you can focus on to really finish up the healing work. So, I mean, it's so interesting, especially these are almost identical, different decks. We keep seeing the reflective energy. So I want to see what the work is that needs to be done to allow for the door to open, the partner to come in, for the opportunity to find you. And I'll also read this one. Okay. So we'll focus on the card that I pulled first, which is the Devil reverse, which is actually empowered. So the Devil reverse says, I choose not to limit myself anymore. The limit could be a thought that you have. And I actually love that they make this devil appealing, because if the devil were to take a shape or a form, it would probably not take the shape or form that we see on the traditional devil card. That may be its true form, but that's not the form it's going to come through. It's going to come through in an illusion of something that looks good, but really isn't. So the Devil reverse says, I also mentioned this with the High Priestess card yesterday that I talked about, but all that glitters isn't gold. She knows that. She sees that. The devil doesn't want you to see that. The devil wants you to keep paying attention to, for instance, you stay in a job because of the money, right? But the money's not enough because the stress makes you unhappy, and you end up spending extra money on healthcare and going to the doctor because you're dealing with that. So the devil's winning on that one. You think you're there and you're getting more, but you're spending a lot because your body's breaking down. You could be staying in a relationship because you're afraid of being alone. But you may be missing out on those people that I'm seeing, that I'm picking up on, that are actually ready for you, while this other person may not be paying attention to you or investing or returning on the energy. Also, there is, and I'm getting a big wave of energy as I'm about to talk about this, so I know that this is a big deal for some of you, but some of you may just be afraid of being alone, because in that solitude comes the introspective work that has to be done. And the devil doesn't want us to self-improve either. So the big opportunity for you this month is to realize that sometimes it's better to have space, and it's better to look at what's there than to just fill it up with something. Or to hold on to something that isn't enough. So there's more than good enough. There's more than right now. And there's more than you could imagine that's kind of possible. The devil wants to limit and hold you and kind of, like we see here with the puppet, control you. And it's in the thoughts primarily. So we see the puppeteering happening right there in the brain. So you're going to reprogram thoughts. And the bonus card that the deck flew out and kind of gave to us was Nine of Pentacles in reverse. It's connected to devil energy because the devil doesn't want you to reach higher. And it doesn't want you to realize that you can do this on your own. So you can do this. You've got this. Nine of Pentacles came up a couple times here. So this is the second time, Nine of Pentacles, and it came through on Tuesday. So that's actually when this energy is going to come through if we looked at the 7-day forecast. So on Tuesday, you're going to be able to prove to yourself and others, you know what, actually I can do this. I've always been able to do this, and I'm going to thrive in the process, and he's going to fade away. Okay, so powerful energy there. And that's the most important thing here, is that you have to be comfortable with your own company, and you need to look at areas of your life where you might be settling or substituting and release those. That's going to bring the opportunity or the partnership in a lot faster. All right, so let's take a look and see what you wanted me to choose. Okay, so I think you selected an excellent one here. For 49% of the vote, we have how to ease into the tower or into the energy of change. And I think until we look at that, it's hard to move forward. So thank you for choosing this. I always choose the hardest ones if I can. The devil kind of came out, and that would be one that I would choose. I would also choose that one. I'm going to read the question one more time, and it's basically how to ease into the tower. So we're choosing the tower reversed as an opportunity. We want to know how to make the most of that opportunity. Page of Cups. Okay, Page of Cups reversed. This Page of Cups is really cool because it's almost as if you're seeing the page from two different levels. His feet are not on the ground. So that's the interesting thing. They're chopped off, and it's arguable. That could be someone else's feet above him flying and floating. It could also be his. And what happens with the Page of Cups? You can go head over heels, right? Or heels over head in this particular illustration. But it was reversed, so it is head over heels, right? So I feel like some of you could be enamored with something. This is going to be really important. So if you're in a big change in your life, let's say you just met someone and you fell in love, someone just passed away and you're dealing with that change, or you're trying to make a big move and maybe a combination of these other things are happening. Slow down and get an outside opinion, because what I'm seeing here is a lack of objectivity. You are seeing through the goggles of the heart, and the heart wants to see the best in everything. We definitely need the third eye wide open, and we need to be able to see also beyond the rose-colored tint of the glasses. And I think that's the main thing here. So see things as they are, ground yourself in what you want to do about that, and that's going to be important. The other thing, if we look at this in a different perspective, is that the sky's the limit. So if you've already reached a moment where the tower comes through, basically it's saying, take this material, use it as construction material, as fertilizer. When you've been given a lot of manure, you use it as fertilizer to make better things. So if there's been a difficult period, this is saying, I'm going to look at the positive here, and I'm going to make the best of this. So that's one element of it. For some of you that are on a really good, energetic sort of trajectory, slow down long enough to be discerning. So I think those are the two main energies with the tower. In order to make some additional changes in your life, you have to be discerning and you have to be positive. And you may need a third party to check both of those to make sure that you are objective. Objectivity is the piece that I see missing here in the tower. And that's the one that's going to be the most important, because the objective truth to things is sometimes it's good when things fall apart. It's good when something ends. But you may be having a hard time seeing that because you were emotionally attached to something. So finding your way to objectivity is how I'm going to summarize it. And I think that's going to be the important piece. Okay. So let me gather up all the cards, and we're getting ready now for the special. Yeah, we're going to look at the special topic now. We're kind of going along at a nice clip today, so I had to just make sure we didn't skip anything. So as I'm getting ready and stacking up all the cards, put into the chat some things that all of you are working on, and maybe actually hold it. I'll look at it when we do past, present, and future, because what I want to help empower us to do today is to basically really look at where the big areas of manifestation may lie. So let's hold and let's see how much time I have. And I might pull a few cards in those main areas. Some of it's going to be answered when I look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. So we'll give that a shot. Today I'm going to be reading with the Druid Craft deck because it just called to me as I was looking at everything. And I haven't used it in a while, so I'll be using that today. Okay, let's get started, everyone. Thank you for being patient as I got everything set up. Let's go ahead now, take a look. We're going to be focusing on manifestation, and in particular, I always like to say all this or greater, because one of the things that we can sometimes limit ourselves is by like what's possible. The Devil card came through to remind us of that. So what I'm going to constantly push at today is this the limit? Where are the limits? Where are the capabilities, and where can you sort of like focus so that you're not losing yourself in a sort of like a prison of your own creation when you say, I can't do this, or this never happens, or I always do that. We're trying to break that mold today. This is for all signs, everyone present. It'll take me a second more because I'm pulling all these cards out of their decks this morning. I just pulled them a few minutes before coming through. In this new space, one of the things that I'm doing is just keeping everything safe because it's older and I don't want any water damage. All right, let's take a look and see what's coming through. Again, we're looking at manifestation, all this or better, trying to break through even your own expectations of what is possible. And that's sometimes the biggest challenge, isn't it? So we have the Serpent coming through in your catalyst position. Very interesting, very much connected to the Devil, the card that I pulled earlier, which can be limitations, temptations, and things of that nature. So I would say the first thing here is just because something did or didn't happen in the past, it doesn't mean that this has to be a nonstop cycle in your life. That was one portion of your life, that was one experience in your life, and it is not a constant sort of state of being. We always get to choose how, when, if to kind of continue on a path. So that's the first thing that I'm picking up on, is that you have more power, you have more flexibility. This is also a card of power. Serpents and snakes are, as a totem, a very powerful and potent thing to see. It's not bad necessarily. So what I see here is you can almost think of them as like a dragon energy, right? You have the potential now to really bring things to the next level. So I like that part of it. You just have to release limiting thoughts. And that's a kind of consistent and persistent thing that comes through, especially as we look at your crowning card here, the Nine of Swords. Tends to be about stress management, and sometimes going to worst case scenarios first. But let's not jump ahead of ourselves. The catalyst here was to help us stay on track. So it's saying, own your power and release some of those restrictive thoughts. Let's go to the center card, which is going to show us how to open the door, how to unlock potential here. So we have the Three of Cups. This is the cosmic dance that I saw. This is the party, the gathering. I actually saw 2 or 3 people with that other person that's waiting for you. So for those of you that are looking for a job, this could mean that there's a word of mouth thing where it's going to go through a few different people, but it's going to start off with a friend that you know or someone that you have created a rapport with. For dating, it could be the same thing. You're not actually looking for someone, you're just hanging out. Maybe someone dragged you to some sort of a function that you didn't expect to go to. You're there, and then you meet someone. This is also about understanding that you are lovable, you are engaging, you have something to offer, and you're magnetic because the Three of Cups is magnetic. So people are wanting a little bit more of your time. So you have to just decide how, when, and how often. And then there is also discernment here. So when it comes to manifesting, this is saying that you may want more than just topical, or just even like temporary. When you're dating, Three of Cups is someone coming in, someone coming out, someone kind of, you could be exploring all the options, but you may be at a point where you're ready for just one. So if you're ready to settle down or ready to commit to someone or something, this conversation is what we're possibly trying to help you manifest. And the good news here is, if we look at these 3 cards, this is almost like your desire. It's crossed, you've got the Magician and the High Priestess here. So double manifestation. And then we have a positive card in the outcome, the Four of Wands. You have to create the space, you have to believe, and then that person, like I said, they're waiting for you, you're waiting for them. And so, yes. And there's also like a karmic connection. I don't always read love, but love has been coming through a lot over the course of this next week. Love and partnership. So I'm excited to see how that opens up. Even if it's just you're laying the foundational work here, I definitely see some of that energy coming through. Try to focus on balance and moderation. Three of Cups doesn't often do that. It's kind of like going to extremes. I did see laughter and tears. So please do process your emotions. Whatever you need to do to process them, do it. But I saw one being quickly changed around. Like even now, my guides showed me like sobbing, going into kind of like smiling and then laughing. So you may be having like one of those moments where you laugh so hard you cry. You may cry a lot and then something completely changes your mood to the other direction. There may also just be this new day dawning. So in the traditional, even in this death card, we see it. There's almost always a new day on the horizon in the background. So when something leaves, something comes through to replace it, to upgrade it. And so it's time for an upgrade, right? So this is how all of this and better. See the old experience, the old person, the old model as what has been outdated, discontinued, deprecated, whatever word you want to use. But now there's something new and better that matches your new and better energy too. The Magician is crossing this, which is saying right here, right now, you're already manifesting this. You're already starting to manifest the thing that you see, the thing that you desire, the thing that you are trying to create. It's out there somewhere in a timeline. Now it's just a question of which path you're going to choose. Is it going to be a direct path, a windy path? Is it one where you're going to sit here for a while and wait and then eventually try to sprint and catch up? But it's out there. It's out there and it's asking you, what do you want to do to catch up to me? In the deep past, we have recovery. And I think this is the one, if we're looking at the biggest potential block in the manifestation, it's healing a wound. This could be physical, mental, emotional, or all three, because oftentimes the three are intertwined. So it takes time. You probably shouldn't make any major decisions after a big energetic wound like that for maybe 6 months. But if you're already in the middle of some other change or something else going on, this is saying slow down long enough to not forget how powerful you are and to not skip past the grief, because we got the 2 grief cards that I would expect here, the 10 of Swords and the 3 of Swords. So it can be grieving over an object, a job, a pet, a person. It can be anything. Grief, it's non-discriminatory, right? So whatever you're trying to make peace with, letting go of, just realize this, it's completely valid for you to feel the way that you feel. So take some time to heal the body, take some time to heal the heart. The heart seems a little bit more ready to heal than the body. And once you do that, make sure that you're getting ample sleep and rest. And don't kind of take that and believe that it's a mold or a template. That's what I was saying earlier. What was, and as long as we integrate the lesson, it doesn't have to repeat. It's interesting that we study history at school, but we rarely, unless you go to therapy perhaps, you don't study the history of your life, right? So in this retrograde, to help you get to this all this or greater that we talked about, the big opportunity for you is to study your history and see what lessons have I learned, where am I inefficient, where can I make better movement or traction. And if you do that, you're going to feel a lot more empowered. Please focus on quality and quantity of sleeping. Definitely listen to those feelings that you're having, whether it's fear or stress or anxiety, and talk to someone. Or what I do when I feel really, really stressed, like sometimes the other day when I had to, everything here, I had to take it down just in case, because the windows are old, the ceiling's old. I'm like, I have to get used to breaking this down and putting it back up until I find an office. But I was frustrated because I wanted to get the 1 card reading out, but I couldn't. There was no lights and it was raining and I couldn't find. I was like, just go to bed, go to sleep, and do it the next day. And whenever you get it out, it's soon enough. And I felt so much better, because sometimes if you try to push through not being able, like if you can't control all the external stuff, we had like basically a hurricane coming through, and it became a tropical storm, but I was like, I'm not going to take a chance right now with the equipment and everything. I'm just going to get my sleep. I felt better. And then I did a better reading when I finally did it. So don't rush, don't push. And I learned this from like when I was a student in school, I used to burn the midnight oil. As an adult, you go to bed, you get some sleep, you clear your head, because if your head isn't clear, you can't channel and analyze information clearly. And you're not doing yourself or anyone else a favor if that's happening. So take care of yourself, get some sleep. It'll be better tomorrow, I promise. It'll be clearer tomorrow. I can't promise it'll be better. I'll take that back. But it will be clearer and you'll be better able to deal with it tomorrow. And that makes it better. You make it better by being level-headed. So give yourself that extra hour sleep and the next day is going to be much, much better. Okay, let's focus on the next thing. Yay for the High Priestess. Not only did we get her, and we got the 2 of Wands earlier, but we also got the Magician. So these 2 together, by the way, this is a partnership. This is karmic. So we have the Death card here and possibilities, hopes, fears, and possibilities. And then we have the 3 of Cups, which can be love. And then we have 2 cards, which can represent a very high energy love that could come through. So the Magician is saying there will also be chemistry, because to me, that's the card that I associate with chemistry. So I like what I'm seeing here when it comes to future partnerships. It's looking good. But the High Priestess is just good in general at manifestation. And it's in the near future, this card. So Today's topic is completely within reach. All this or better, and emphasis on the or better. So we're not questioning if you can get this. We're questioning, can there even be more? All this or more, all this or better, and my highest good. That would be the full mantra. But I only have so many characters when I'm typing a title. So all this or better, in the highest good. All right, let's see. The High Priestess is also saying, what are you doing to make this happen? Remember the moon card? Monday, tomorrow, is the day to do this. Because she's at, both her and the Magician, they're at altars. And the altar is a place that you make an offering. And the offering can be an offering of work, of energy, of effort. It can be a prayer. We still make symbolic offerings every day. So she's saying, I'm here, but you have to be present. And it has to be sacred, and it has to be like a ritual. So you decide to do this in a sort of consistent way. The ritual can be a schedule. The offering can be your passion and your desire. Because the universe feeds off of that energy. So put that out there, and you're going to see a return. You have to see it, then you'll catch up to it. See it, then be it, or see it and then find it in everyday life. And then work to do something about it. The High Priestess is there as a partner to say, let's co-create. And the Magician came in to co-create with her. Okay? So some of you, there's a divine partnership that's going to bring with it this ability for you to really make something great happen. I like it. Okay. That's it for this. Let's focus on what's going on with you. So we have the Hanged Man here. And the Hanged Man, of course, can illustrate a moment in time where you feel like, why can't this happen faster? Why am I stuck here? What can I do to get unstuck in my life? When we go into the history of the Hanged Man, it has to do with Odin. And there was actually a discovery that occurred during that period of delay. So my message to you is that this is a time for you to focus on really making sure that you've learned everything before stepping through the door and going somewhere else. So don't just run from one thing to another thing to another thing. Focus on saying, how did I get here? Is there anything I can do to resolve or fix this? And if I can't, what am I going to do to make a better, more informed decision for the next step of the journey? It's an intentional slowdown. And it's not necessarily bad. So if you got any block, you get a chance to do something better. Something better will come to you, you will find something better, or you can improve what you've been working on, and then you get to release it in a better form. So that's what I see with the Hanged Man. Focusing on patience, focusing on understanding that there's only so much that you can do is going to be key. This guy also looks a little bit like the Green Man there, and so I would say there's a fruitful period that comes after this delay as well. In the environment, we actually have the Prince of Cups in reverse. So whenever there's a knight reversed, it's saying, let's take a moment also and recalibrate. This recalibration has to do with desire, and fulfillment. Are you happy doing what you're doing for a living, for school, for your community outreach, etc.? Are you happy with the person that you've ended up with? And it's weird that I said that combination, ended up with, because normally I would say chosen or partnered with. So do you feel like you just ended up in a situation with someone or with something? Because the Three of Cups in reverse is saying, how do I feel about this? Is this all that I want it to be, or is there something more that I can make of it? Okay, so basically being discerning, that's the main thing that I'm getting with this, being discerning and opening up to other possibilities. Realizing that you are the source of your own joy, of your own growth, of everything positive that comes into your life. So own that, and when you stop looking to others for happiness, then you start to become a lot more happy too, because you don't need their approval, and it doesn't matter if they understand everything that you're doing. It all kind of comes together. Love could be coming into your life. This could be the unexpected love that I saw in the form of a water sign. And they're fun, they're playful, they have this sort of youthful energy that may belie their age, but they come through with a very young and bold energy. And curiosity is also what I'm picking up on. I don't know why, but I get the vibe for some of you, this could be someone that either is not of your community, culture, or country, because they're showing me sort of like a fascination that's happening. They're looking at what's going on, and they're very fascinated by how you live your life. So just know that someone finds you intriguing. And that's a good thing. Whatever it is that you're trying to open up, I get this intrigue that's coming through. Childlike curiosity. So go with that and and we'll take it to the next card here. When I'm looking at the potential for this month and the potential for manifestation, it's all about kind of like throwing out the rule book, right? And sometimes that's a little challenging because, what would I say with this? I think sometimes we feel like there's only one way to do something, and this is saying no. It's like that's last century, and a lot of people around you may be trying to catch up with your way of thinking. So if we go way back to the slides that I talked about earlier, I mentioned that your heightened sensitivity comes from a frustration that stems from the fact that you see, hear, feel, and know things faster than others. And so you've done the work in a past life. That's part of the reason, because we have the death card here reversed. And you're supposed to go through and completely change things up. And I have all of the things these are different decks of cards, by the way. So I have to show you, everything came together in this death card. So we have the serpent here, which was your catalyst, which shows flexibility, power, and avoiding temptation. If we look in the background, I'll block the hangman out for a second. You can see the sai in the background here, or the sickle that the death card uses. And then she has all of these things here. We have up in the corner, the snake. We have death's sai. And then we have basically this cauldron here, which is saying we're stepping into creation now. Death is also rebirth. So you have all the components ready to concoct something completely different. And you're pulling together, just like the magician would, all of these elements. So I don't just have the magician's elements, but I also have these powerful totems. Something that would cut away old ties, old wounds, old things, and would also reap the rewards. Because if we look at it here, it's a harvest symbol, right? So it's reaping the rewards. You're getting ready to reap the rewards of this lifetime and previous lifetimes. One of the rewards that's coming through, believe it or not, and I have to keep pinching myself because I don't talk about it, is partnership or friendship or love or some sort of a person coming into your life that's going to, it's not that they're opening the door, it's that they saw the open door and they see you. They see you for what you finally see yourself as, which is strong, powerful, capable, independent, intuitive. You got to kind of put all the positive adjectives that you want together, but step through that door and they're going to also step through and meet you halfway. I like that. You have to build it before they come, just like the movie said. You have to hold space. You have to have the dream, hold the insight, but you are setting that up. And that's really what it's about. We got a lot of partnership energy, I have to say. But one thing that you want to focus on is we don't want it to be rebound energy. So the reason that the hanged man is coming through and saying, slow down a minute, is there's some pain from the past. There's some disappointment from the recent past. There's some stress that this could happen again. And you don't want to manifest that because you could very well manifest your fear. We want to instead manifest the possibility of recreation, something new, something fun, something different. That's where the power exists. And yes, someone's saying dare to do something different. There was a line in, it's a silly movie. It's on, different times of the year, but like You've Got Mail. There was the main character, she had to walk away from her business, and the main, like the supporting actress that was there at the sort of store with her, she said, I think you're really brave because you get to imagine a different future. You get to imagine something different than your mother did or something than you thought you would be doing. So I do think that it's brave and it's interesting to imagine yourself in a path that you didn't expect yourself in. So for sure, this could be a really interesting opportunity for you. And someone else is going to already see you being capable of doing that which you think, oh my gosh, this is outlandish. Don't. Think that this is great. Take that out of your head. Think that you can say this is fantastic because there's a little bit of fantasy in that, but it also means fantastic means it's going to happen and I'm going to feel good about it too. So instead of using a word like crazy or hard or impossible, use fantastic. And I'm going to make it there and it's going to feel fantastic as well. All right, let's move into your extended forecast where we take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. So because we're manifesting all of this or greater, each one of these cards can answer the question, how can I manifest good health or better than I thought? How can I get past this block and be all this or greater? Same thing with wealth, love, and destiny. So let's take a look here. All right. Standard disclaimers apply whenever I take a look at your health energy. We're looking at choices that you're going to make energetically. When it comes to your mental or physical health, you want to work with a professional on that. All right. So let's look at the cards here. We have Parvati coming through with positive change. Very positive energy here. Very strong divine feminine energy with this as well. And it's saying, you know what? I've been through some difficult stuff, but I'm going to come back. This is very much to me like judgment energy. And I think even with it's a nice compliment to the death card. So it's saying, I'm actually stronger because of a setback or a difficulty or some pain in the past. And now I'm a force to be reckoned with. Now I'm someone that people are going to look at with a sense of like reverence and respect. Positive change. If something's leaving your life, by the way, hopes, fears, and opportunities. Death is in the opportunity space. So if you are pushed into a tower situation that takes you out of your job or living situation, if you end up recently uncoupled from someone because they broke up or they passed into spirit, whatever change is going on, the universe has your back, and there's more positive that's going to follow this up than what you've already experienced. So I like that. Let's now take a look just at the cards for additional messages around your health and well-being. First and foremost, some of you may be dealing with chronic pain or fatigue. Definitely take a look at that and deal with that sooner than later so that you are healthy and happy and that you can continue to sustain on this path, because we don't want to see that getting in the way of your ability to embrace opportunities. So focus on healing the body. This is typically the spine, but it goes all the way from the neck to the tailbone. So that's a big part of our body, but it's usually the back portion, and there can be an alignment issue, but it's that or chronic pain. So focus on taking care of that. Remember what we talked about earlier. This can also symbolize emotional stress, just like the 10 of Wands could. So you could be holding on to that, and then it could be manifesting in the physical body. Healing of the heart. Metaphorically speaking, it's saying you're, again, bouncing back from possibly a breakup or disappointment. This is also saying do heart healthy things. Work with your doctor to figure out what that means for your body. But it may include changes in diet or exercise. Again, I'm not a doctor, but we want to focus on heart health. So talk to your doctor about that. You don't need to be a doctor to know that sleep is important, however, and that is something that you can talk to your health professional about. Basically, what we see here is stress, emotion, and sleep being the primary things that could take you off of your power this month, and we don't want that to happen. Once we kind of look into this direction, it looks pretty good. Some of you may have had a close brush with illness or death, or someone in your family might have had something happen and it's a wake-up call. You're going to do something positive, and the outcome looks really positive with that as well. So overall, I really like what I see with the health. It's all for the best, but it's changing for the best, stepping away from something and it's for the best, losing something and it's going to open up a better opportunity in front of you. So all this or greater, for those of you that are saying you're disappointed or you're frustrated, then start to think like, this is helping the universe show up for you too. So what would you like instead of what came through? What's the alternative? What's the upgrade? Ask the universe for that upgrade. When we are too general with our manifest, we don't want to be too specific and we don't want to be too general. We want to be just specific enough. You never want to be overly general though, or it just is anything. So if you're trying to create a change for the better for your health, be specific enough in like what it is that you want to see, how it is that you want to be, so that the universe can kind of help you accomplish that. All right, let's focus now on the next component. So we looked at health. Let's take a look at wealth. We have El Moira, and it says, awakening presence. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. So I mentioned know where to have your guard up and know where to sort of like let it down. It looks like in the area of work, this is where you want to protect things. This could be protecting your intellectual property, for instance, protecting your copyright, protecting your privacy, protecting just ideas that you're sharing with others. So yeah, that makes sense. Also, just security in general when it comes to passwords and networks and things of that nature, since it's in the work area. And for yourself, it could even extend to insurance and things like that. So where in your life can you put in some basically, what would you call them? Redundancies. Redundancies and protections so that you can sleep well at night. There's never any harm done in that. And I'm not one to focus on negative, but I always prepare for potential outcomes. You always want to have like flood insurance. Well, it doesn't cover floods, but water insurance and things like that. Earthquake insurance, I pay for that for sure. It's a small amount and it will help you. If you don't need it, no problem, nothing lost. But if you do need it, you'll be sad that you didn't have it. So put into effect kind of like those contingency plans and redundancies and insurance, and that will help you out. Now let's take a look specifically at money, wealth, and jobs and how you can manifest. So some of you are waking up to something different. The universe is with you as you step into this change, because we can take this now and read it differently. Wear a cloak of protection and love. When you say you want to do or be something different than you are, not everyone's going to understand that. I know when I decided to break from traditional career into more spiritual career, it took a while. And I think I've continued to kind of like, it's a rolling sort of thing everyone knows now, but I would say it was maybe 3 to 5 years before I told everyone what I was doing. I had to prove to myself and others that it would be sustainable. Once they saw that I could sustain, then they were like, well, okay, good for you. Because people feel like they can always talk about like, can you take care of yourself? Will you be okay with this or that? So get yourself into a place where you can sustain and you feel good about this. Surround yourself with people, not like with people that are just positive, but with people that are supportive, critical perhaps in certain areas, but definitely supportive of the change that you want to make. Constructive and supportive. If you do that, that's good. If you have too many naysayers, they take the energy of change and growth and they snuff it out before it begins. Change is like a little flower that starts from a seed. You have to kind of nurture it. It has to get some roots. And as it starts to get strong enough to withstand the elements, then other people can come in and weigh into sort of like what they think. And you have to be strong in your resolve because there's always going to be criticism, right? All right. Some of you are burned out. 10 of Swords, deep past. 3 of Swords, recent past. Death card, hopes and fears. So this is enough is enough. These cards are manifesting the necessary change. This is acknowledging that that change is good. This is saying don't step out until you have the plan B, but you will find a plan B. So I like that. If you're ready to move on, the cards are indicating a yes. I'm scanning the cards and I'm not seeing any pentacles. I mean, we got tons of pentacles when I was pulling for the 7-day forecast, but for the special topic, it's missing. And I always pay attention to the missing element. So the planning here that you might be able to do is financially speaking. So when you decide to step out on your own, do something unusual or different, finance, I would say financial freedom equals freedom in general. So the more you can make sure that everything is buttoned up there, the better that's going to be. All right, let's go back to the spread. Don't be afraid to ask for what it is that you need or want because you have a lot of persuasive power. The other person is more receptive than you think. Fear will hold you back. Use your heart, but don't get emotional. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but it's not. Talk about things that you're passionate about, but don't yell, don't break down and cry. If it's a persuasive argument or a conversation, put just enough emotion in there to show that you're someone to be reckoned with, a force to be reckoned with, and someone to be taken seriously. And that's going to be the important thing. So use your power wisely and your power of emotion for sure. People are the key. 3 of Cups and 4 of Wands. And the new place, whether it's a job or a home or a community sort of engagement, it needs to feel very supportive. You need to feel like you are supported and you are yourself there. See if there's anything big that I'm picking up on. Spiritual pursuits, for sure, coming through loud and clear. A 180 or a right or a left turn in your career, for sure. So many of you are deciding to change what you do, and that's also being very well supported. And some of you are just really good in front of other people. You may not like being in front of other people, but you're really good. 3 of Cups, 4 of Wands, and the Page of Cups all to me indicate very strong leaders or presences in the community. So don't underestimate your ability to, teach or do a seminar or somehow kind of lead people, because that leadership's coming through pretty loud and clear. Let's move on to relationships. Do the work. All right. So, one last thing. For all this or greater, When it comes to, speaking of work, we're going to go back to work for a second. All this or greater, you don't have to do this alone. Partnering up could be what it takes to get to the greater portion. Doing it alone, you can get most of what you want. Doing it with someone, you can get all or greater. They have to be an energetic match. They have to be also a visionary match for what you're trying to put out there. But if you can find that, that's how you get to the all this or better. Focusing now on relationships. It's what I've been saying. Lo and behold, I'm happy. It says do the work. This is why we got all the Ace of Cups that look like Two of Cups, and why I put the Two of Cups in the earlier portion of the reading. It's saying, as you do the inner work, you become magnetic, attractive, basically someone that cannot be ignored, and basically someone that people are going to be drawn to naturally. And who doesn't want that, right? I think that is very exciting, very positive sort of energy. So do the work on yourself and you attract what we see here, the Four of Wands. Let's see if there's some stuff to focus on. We're going to look at those of you in a relationship, looking for a relationship, or single and happy. If you're in a relationship, here's an interesting thing here. I know we got a little glare. I'm going to work on that in this coming week. But with the Three of Cups, it's basically saying, is this what I really want? How did I end up here? Is this what I want? And if it is, it could just be a passing thought where you question for a moment, could I do better? Am I happy? Am I getting my energy sort of reciprocated? And if you are, good to go. Because we actually have two great cards and a great match here, the Magician and the High Priestess. But with that Three of Cups, there could also be a desire to rekindle the flame. Both of you may be working hard. You may not be spending as much time as you used to together. So this is saying, let's reconnect. Let's reconnect the chemistry. Let's spend some time together. I do see that one or both of you have been through a pretty challenging point in your life here. The Ten of Swords and the Three of Swords are basically showing that you want to take care of yourself and your partner, but you can't do this alone. If either of you are going through this, this is probably something where you would benefit from talking to a therapist. At the very least, know your limits and know that you can only heal the partner to a certain degree. It feels like there's a necessary conversation that you might just be trying to avoid here with the Nine of Swords, so don't do that. Like I said, it feels like it's going to be very well received. You just have to put yourself out there. At the end of the day, these are favorable. A little bit of stress, but something positive coming from this. So sometimes we just have to say something on our minds. If you can't share your hopes and your fears and your dreams with the person that you love, who can you share it with, right? So this is your time to really put that energy out there and say, this is something I'm afraid to do. I want your support. Can we do this change together? And hopefully your partner comes through and says, yes, I've got your back. And even if they don't, then you know, incontrovertibly rather, what to do with this Three of Cups question that you have. But it looks like it's going to go okay. You just have to have that heart-to-heart. You've been dragging your heels here with the Hanged Man and the Nine of Swords. So the sooner you talk about something, the better you're going to feel, and the sooner you're going to start to see some progress happen. Okay? Focusing now on, let's see if there's anything else. Some of you may have lost a partner, or some of you may have had a person in your family that's passed that's causing the grief as well. Your partner could we'll talk about this in a moment, but actually what I'm getting here is for those of you that are widowed or recently divorced, there could be another person coming in. So the loss is followed by someone new, and that's why this has to happen first. Be careful of the rebound energy. This is kind of getting into the next territory, which is those who are single but looking. And this can include divorced but looking, or widowed but looking, or a widower and looking. So what I'm getting here is definitely there's some cleanup to do on the previous relationship. Once the cleanup is done, something much, much better comes through. By the way, the better part of the previous thing is if you have that conversation, the friendship deepens. So you could actually end up more in love or more connected to the person. With the next person coming through, for those of you that might be seeking a new partnership, there's more friendship. There's definitely a spark. These two cards together, they have a lot of chemistry, a lot of physical chemistry. But this is the friendship that will last the test of time. After the looks fade, after the years wax on, this is going to be what holds you through the partnership, because then you ended up marrying your best friend and you couldn't imagine a future with someone else, right? And as I say, that tear ducts activate, which means that there's definitely an element of truth for many of you out there. So hold firm to loving yourself enough to be happy with where you're at, to also being willing and ready to sort of like move beyond the pain of the past, knowing that this it's not a cookie cutter. You're not going to just have the same thing again and again. And I see like a best friend and a soulmate. The death card, death, judgment, or Six of Cups can all indicate soulmates. Death is definitely karmic. So I see a karmic friendship, partnership, or love interest coming into your life. They're coming through with King of Cups energy, and they've been waiting too. Again, it reminds me of that line at the end of Practical Magic where, she's afraid that he's only coming because she sent out this, spell when she was a little kid. And he's like, no, I wish for you too. So we're getting that dual wishing and that dual seeking and that dual impatience with the Hanged Man, for those of you that are single and looking. But it's on the horizon. The important thing is internal healing. You got to heal. And then for those of you that are healed, there might be something here that's taking your focus. So finish what you started, heal the parts of your life that need to be healed. And then this person can't wait to come marching in on this horse. There's some great energy on the horizon for you. Okay. By the way, for those of you in a relationship, the Three of Cups can also be, Three of Cups, Three of Swords can be a third party. That could be a relative. This is also true of those single and looking. So love in general, people will be judging you. Actually, it's everybody. So if you're single, they're like, why haven't you found someone? If you're single and looking, they're like, well, why are you dating this person? Or why isn't this happening faster? And if you're with someone, everyone has thoughts. You don't have to listen to all of their thoughts. And that's what I'm picking up on that. All right. Finally, for those that are single and happy, I think that the opportunity for you could be focusing on what's going on with the finances, because they're absent from the spread. Definitely anything you want to manifest, you can, but I think that networking is going to be very important in this period of time. And where's your creative outlet? I think this is good for everyone too, but what are you doing to blow off some steam? What are you doing to kind of allow for true growth and true potential to kind of be channeled out there? That's important. Okay. Let's move on to your destiny card. We have the Fire Guardian here. Couldn't ask for a better one for that either. Saying, ignite your passion. So it's an angel, which is great. And I think for many of you, you might be guided from spirit, from your higher self, to explore a new path, to look at something different. And you may be wondering, can I do this? The Fire Guardian comes through saying, what are you waiting for? Why do you need anybody's permission or anybody's weigh in for this? So the biggest piece of advice I would say today is to start to take some action. And this is going to help you manifest that. We're looking at the fiery energy that would also be coming through the lower chakras. So you have to feel safe. You have to work on safety with chakra number 1. Expressiveness, creativity, being bold, and then also being able to physically kind of represent that, your posture, being able to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So really in meditation and in yoga and in just general body work, focusing on those lower 3 chakras so that you are strong and you have a very strong kind of like root in the ground or trunk in the ground like a tree would, so that you can hold up to all of these sort of opportunities that want to present themselves. All right, so let's take a look now. Instead of the big idea, I want to kind of look at this as a retrograde manifestation thing. So we're going to look at past, present, future opportunities. From this, we can get the lens of possibly like regret or whatever it is from the past that needs to be healed. I definitely want to make the past one about healing, because that's what I'm focusing on. There is 10 of Swords, 3 of Swords, 9 of Swords. So we'll pull one for healing, one for the present, and one for the future. And it's going to be in guiding you and helping you manifest. Past, present, future. Let's take a look at these. So normally this would be the big idea. I'll put that graphic up for a second, but it's like big ideas. We're looking at it in triplicate. I kind of change it up a bit when I do it here. So the past. This is one of the most beautiful 2 of Swords and one of the best illustrations, especially for those of you that struggle with the 2 of Swords. So there's always choices in front of us. There's not always a black and white. Sometimes we have to make the best choice with given information. And neither path in front of this person looks more treacherous than the other. I would argue that no action, inaction in other words, that is the thing that is most detrimental at present, or possibly has held you back from doing something in the past. So you've been focusing so much on, well, what happens? What if this happens? What if that happens? And how do I deal with it? So too many questions and not enough action. And I think you have, with any of the twos, particularly this one, you have an ace of swords waiting for you. Put one of those swords down and go down that path and explore what's possible and see how you feel about what's possible. And I think that you will be surprised. You get to now pick up on one of those swords, by the way. So let's say you went down on one path, or you didn't do either. You didn't go down either path because you were afraid. Now just pick a path and know that by doing this, you're already succeeding because you're learning, you're overcoming the fear of failure, and you're moving forward. Forward movement is not failure. If there are delays, if there are disappointments along the way, it's not failure. I'm doing my best on these readings this month anyway. I'll pick different things from month to month, but we're going to let go of the fear of failure and failure itself. I mentioned during our last collective, it's opportunity. So you're looking at two opportunities, and the only way to not experience an opportunity is to not do anything. So take a path, experience that opportunity, and do the best that you can to enhance the opportunity. At present, the biggest challenge for many of you is emotional stability and emotional sensitivity, and also just channeling your emotion and trusting your emotions. So that's where you could actually do the biggest amount of work, is healing, doing something with it, like I said, channeling, and then also understanding like what created this trigger in my life? How is it valuable to me? How could it also hold me back a little bit? Okay? Love, for sure, is a big focus for many of you right now. Make sure that the lens of love goes within first. It's nice to receive love and celebration and applause from other people, but the big thing here is like, how do you feel? What are you bringing into your life? How does this affect you? And guess what? We get the Three of Wands yet again. Three of Wands, Four of Wands. So it's happening faster than you think as we're looking at future state. This one's a little passive for my liking. He is pausing, which is important because we got the Hanged Man, but he's looking out in front and like, I don't know what he's waiting for. Because with the Three of Wands, you shouldn't even have to wait. The ship's coming in, the person's coming towards you. The waiting, I think, is more you waiting to feel like I can do this. I feel like there's an epiphany or a light bulb moment, an aha moment that has to go off for some of you. Maybe today is the inciting incident that helps you get to that aha moment. But I'm telling you, the sooner you believe that you can, that you will, then you'll start to see all these things kind of like open up in front of you, which will be exciting. Meet the opportunity halfway. That's what this Three of Wands is really saying. Okay? And I think that's it. We could keep reading, but I feel like we got everything we needed to look at. I'll do a quick scan of the table, and then we're going to look at your meditation. We'll go to the final card after that. And then a couple of quick notes as we're getting situated on this. But looking at how I really want to take us in the all this or greater before I go into the meditation. So for the all this or greater, I feel like there's nowhere to go but up. For many of you, there's been a lot of challenges. I mean, we've all been through the ringer over the past couple of years, but there's been a lot of challenges emotionally for many of you who are watching this. What I see right now is the main thing to realize is the past is the past. And now we have these two co-creators. Your big opportunity in the future is co-creation. A partner, a friend, or a lover coming in that's going to help ease this journey for you. The important thing for you is to do as much work possible so that when that person comes in, they're excited and they're happy and they're joyful the way that I saw them. You don't want them to see someone who's not ready to receive that energy. So do the work, open yourself up, open your heart, let the guard down a little bit, and I think that's going to be key. When it comes to health, we see positive movement there. When it comes to wealth, you might be awakening to a new call, a call to action for a different career or a different title or a different approach. And that call can't be ignored once it comes through. Relationships are going to respond directly to work you've done internally. And then this card is saying, why are you waiting so long? Let's get started. And we saw here, choosing a path is better than no paths at all. Healing the heart, again, we keep talking about that, is going to be important. And then rapid manifestation, I would expect that with both the High Priestess and the Magician. All right, let's move on now to your meditation. The meditation is going to be three parts actually. We're going to do the meditation. We're going to do a singing bowl, which I have to grab in the other room because I moved it. And then we're going to take a look at a final card. The final card can be anything that you would like it to be. It's a question that I haven't yet had a chance to look at. So write it down while we're getting into this meditation, and then I will pull a final card at the end. Before you do that, before we kind of go out into space, make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my daily, weekly, monthly, or special videos. And in the future, my podcasts, I want you to be in the loop. You can also follow me across social media, remembering that I don't offer private readings or use DMs. And if you want to show support, you can do that. It's much appreciated. All right, meditation time. For today's meditation, as I glance down at all the cards on the table, let's see what's calling to me. I really love being at the altar of creation here. So we're going to use the Magician and the High Priestess. We're going to use a nighttime sort of visualization, and we're going to imagine ourselves at the High Priestess altar. So see yourself standing in front of this beautiful, swirling energy of creation in front of you. You can almost imagine that there's like this little, it's almost like a Milky Way galaxy swirling in front of you. And you've got your hands, kind of as you're moving them around this energy, you're feeling how things are moving, you're feeling how you're a part of this. You could even look at this as a miniature version of the world that we're in. So you see yourself both macro and micro, in and out. As you look at yourself in the play that we call life, see where you've been empowered, see where you've made some choices that you would change. Now see the next step of the journey. Imagine that this is almost like a chessboard. Now that you know where you're going and what's around that, let it all go for a second and just focus on imagining that you're already there. So it's almost like you're teleporting into that. So you can imagine that you touch that, and then in that moment, you've teleported there. So I want you to exist in this teleported state, look around, make it very tangible, smell it, put your hands on the table, put your feet on the floor, see what it's like to be in that future state, and then feel how you feel. Like if you've tried to accomplish a goal, maybe you want to cry, maybe you want to smile, maybe you just want to take a deep breath. Know that somewhere out there in the universe, your goal or your dream is there. All you have to do now is to start to take the steps and to trust that it's going to find you, and vice versa. I'm going to grab the singing bowl. While I'm doing that, close your eyes, meditate, see yourself with the energy of creation swirling around you, see this new future state of you as well, and just repeat the mantra, I can, I will, I am, because that's perfect for manifestation. I'll be right back with the singing bowl. We'll meditate, and then we'll come back and look at the final card. take 2 final deep breaths, opening your eyes on that final exhale, allowing yourself to slowly come back into your body, sealing that image of the future you into your mind's eye, taking one last breath and coming back into the present. Let's focus now on the final card. Whatever question you might still have for me, I want you to focus on that question now. Hold it in your mind while we're pulling the card. Don't type it out just yet. Let's see the energy associated with it. So the card for your final question is the Princess of Wands. It's a yes. Pages or princesses basically move the needle forward. They're very receptive energies, so it portends good things when it comes to being able to pick up or to perceive on things. So basically what I would say with this is, if you are willing, ready, and able right now, you may be able to see something faster than you thought before. Just because I think what the guides are telling me right now is to say, I am ready. So say, I'm ready to see this, I'm ready to do this, state it and mean it. And when you do that, then the universe starts to show up and say, all right, well, here's how you can do it. I'm glad you're ready because here it comes. And then things start to happen a lot faster. Page of Wands is also very good at listening, incorporating, editing things. It's a very receptive energy overall. So stay open and keep kind of moving with this sort of all of the sort of insights and ideas and also external opportunities that present themselves. This card I would actually ascribe to like an administrative assistant sometimes, because you'll find yourself in between sometimes the movers and the shakers and getting stuff done. So you're going to find yourself in the middle a little bit over the course of the next week or two, but that's going to be a good position because people are leaning on you and you have the potential to affect and create change. So don't underestimate that. Really nothing negative with a Page of Wands. It's a really good card to come through. It indicates positive movement and it puts you in a position where even if you don't have a title of power, you have a sphere of influence. So use that influence to your benefit. And again, the I am ready piece is key. All right, everyone, that brings today's to a close. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I know I did, and I know that there was a lot of really great information that came through. And it feels like, again, the only thing that's missing from the special topic portion was resources. So I think like learning to manage, to ask for the resources that you need, and also to make sure that you're not overextending it would be something that I would put out there, even without pulling a card, just intuitively. Okay, let's go into gratitude now. So I'd like to say, first of all, welcome to anybody that's brand new. Past couple weekends, I haven't had a moderator because he's traveling, but so normally he would welcome everyone and thank everyone. So I'll say, first of all, welcome to the new folks. If you like what you see here, realize that I do a bunch of different types of readings, from the longer ones here to some of the shorter ones that you'll see on the daily. So take a look at my main channel page and subscribe, stick around, see if you like it. I hope you do. All right, for everyone that's been a long-time viewer since 2015 or beyond, because I actually started around 2013, it's good to have you here and I'm glad you're with me. All right, let's take a moment now. I'm going to say welcome to the newest members, and I'm going to say thanks to anybody that gave a super sticker or super chat. So for our members, let's take a look today. Isabel, thank you so much, brand new member. Good to have you here. And I think it's Avilia, but yeah, I'll just say Isabel, good to have you. Diana Donofrio, I think it is. Thank you as well. Elise Davidson, thank you. Brand new members, all of you. Lynette Jardine, thank you as well. Wynette, Buffy V, and Kathy Cephas, thank you. And Kathy, thank you for the 24 months. That's 2 years. That's amazing. And you just rejoined. Thank you so much. And I think that is everyone from the last day or so, because everyone else I recognize from the last reading. Okay. Now for the super stickers or super chat. Give me just a moment and I'll say everybody's name that I see here. All right. So kicking things off today, we have Darcy Rollins. Thank you so much. Esmeralda, I appreciate you as well. Deborah Deegan, I think it is. Thank you. Sue Riley, Lucy Rodriguez, MZRach017, Liz Morrison, Bonnie Hagan, Sanette LaRue, Connie P. Let's see. Lucy Rodriguez, Georgie M. Elminasaurus, I think it is. Thank you. Michelle Dupoy, 29 degrees Sagittarius, I think. Miss Jocelyn C. Lovey Wyman, Kayla C. Jeannie Hart. Let's see. Satha 108 love. Thank you very much. Eileen, thank you so much for the 50. I appreciate that. Isabel again, thank you very much. Twice in a row. Kathy Ahern. Good to see a lot of familiar faces. I appreciate all the contributions. Again, it helps me with a lot of the smaller videos that I've been able to put out in addition to these longer form ones. So your help helps me. Little Sleeping Beauty there. I'm going to take Apollo for a walk and enjoy the rest of today. I hope all of you are having a great kickoff to this full moon and retrograde period. I have found invariably all the retrograde periods tend to have really positive effects. They're a little difficult to go through sometimes, but you're always glad. It's like a pruning energy. So good luck with all of that. I'll see you every day for my dailies. And if you want to take a look at my main channel page, I believe I have the next two up, the Leo and the Virgo. I'll try to put the schedule up sometime this week. It's just been crazy with all that's been going on. So thank you so much. Lots of love and light to all of you. So I'll see you Monday, Thursday, Friday for the monthlies, every Sunday for a collective, every day for my dailies, and occasionally for some other videos interspersed. So take care of yourselves. Have a good one. And until I see you again, bye-bye.